Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here with a PSA return video. A little bit different of a return submission. This one was coins. Some amount of people, every time I've talked about them or posted about them somewhere, you get some amount of people who didn't even realize they were a thing. So I think this is kind of an interesting video. It's been a couple years since I've gotten any of these back, I believe, and I do have at least 100 more coins out there somewhere in the backlog. But yeah, this was 48 coins. Interestingly, the coins are graded through the same service levels essentially as cards. So last year I would have sent it May or June. It was entered August 31st, but I did get this in the quarterly grading special at $7.50 per coin. And of the 48 coins, I got 21 Gem Mint 10s, 20 PSA 9s, and 7 at less than 9. 3 of those specifically, I believe it was, I intentionally sent some coins, and I'll show you in the video, kind of with like a, I guess you'd call it a manufacturing defect. So I intentionally sent some with a bit of a defect just to see how PSA would treat it. And it was kind of interesting, just a little trial. So we'll start with Mewtwo. RCL blisters, I don't know exactly what that is. Rebel Clash maybe, or I don't even remember what these came from. A lot of the coins that I have come from the theme decks, but these are saying RCL blisters, so I'm not sure what that is exactly. But Mewtwo is just Gen 1 Legendary, can't go wrong there. My next ones I've got here, I'll actually show you the kind of the manufacturing defect I was talking about. So these 3 Blastoise, try not to blind you with the light like I usually do, but I don't know if you can see at the bottom there, there's a little bit of a extra bit of plastic. Seeing this, it's a fairly frequent thing you'll find on coins. I assume that they make these on like a big sheet, and then these are like kind of punched out. So it's almost like a perforation nub. I guess I don't know what the technical term would be, but it was just interesting to see. One of them was definitely a bit smaller, and that got the 7. The other 2, I mean, an otherwise mint coin, that knocks it right down to a 6 or a 7. So they're almost treating those perforation pieces kind of like a crease, which, yeah, as I mentioned, it was something that I intentionally just wanted to try them out with, and that's something that I learned. So I didn't know if that would just kind of be a disregarded thing, but I guess that wouldn't make too much sense because it definitely does take away from the eye appeal. You'll notice this whole submission, I pretty much just graded quantity of desirable Gen 1ers just to get some inventory, kind of a niche item to populate the eBay store with. So Relentless Flame theme deck and Torrential Cannon theme deck, both those theme decks were from the Team Up set. So Team Up was like a home run set as far as the theme decks go for me. I stocked up on them significantly because not only did you get the coin featuring Charizard and the coin featuring Blastoise, but you got the Cracked Ice Hollow from each of those. So that was one of the, I think that was the single best theme deck lineup, I mean, you can possibly have, or at least that I can recall. I mean, Charizard and Blastoise. Let me give you front and back of a 10. One thing I wanted to mention too while I did this video, with the cards, so like with the cards from the Relentless Flame theme deck and from the Torrential Cannon, probably half of them at least I sent out to get graded because I figured they were mint. I mean, decent chance at a 9, reasonable chance at a 10, and then you end up with a few 8s that you don't fully expect. But the coins are a different animal. So the coins, when you see this stack, how many Charizards did we send? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we sent like 15 Charizards. If I had to guess, I would probably say that those were the top 15 Charizards out of maybe 150 coins. I bought a substantial amount of the decks, and I don't know if you'd call it print quality or production quality on the coins, I've found is really, really bad. It's not overly surprising. I kind of envisioned, again, that these would be made on a sheet, punched out, and they probably all just kind of go into a bin of some kind. I can't imagine they're treated with too much care, just kind of because they're more of a tool for the game. I mean, flipping the coin to determine damage with certain attacks or to determine status effects. So it's interesting that PSA grades them and they're treated in this way. But yeah, just something interesting I thought I would note. They do give out the dreaded 8.5 grade, my least favorite grade. They give these out for the coins. It's the first time I've ever gotten one on a coin, I think. But, yeah, just really interesting how poor most of the coins are. So, if you buy a sealed deck, don't assume that you're going to get a 10. If I had to guess, these are like the top 10% of coins that I've handled, that I've selected out for grading. So, I mean, if that's, if we assume that number's true, maybe only the top 5% of coins or so from sealed product will grade a 10. One last thing, because I knew this was going to be a pretty short video. That's all I have for the 48. Oh, sorry, I guess I missed some, but I'll talk about these first, and I missed 6 more over here. But on the topic of coins, the Niue, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Niue, in 2001, potentially a couple other years. There's a few different releases, and this is something that I want to do a lot more research on. I have the $1. I believe these are just like clad. Yeah, these aren't the solid silver. I think they made some solid silver and even some solid gold. But I need to do a lot more research on these. Coin collecting is where I began, really, with collecting things back when I was younger. I was really into US type coins, a lot of the 90% silver releases. So when I found out a few years ago that Niue minted some, I think they did several thousand sets of the more common ones, and I want to say 1,000 to 5,000 of the lesser produced variants, but I just think they're really cool. And NGC, for anyone who knows, so PSA is under the umbrella of Collectors Universe, and they also own a grading company called PCGS that does coins. NGC is kind of the, I guess you'd call it, sister company of CGC. So unfortunately I didn't have any PCGS cases, but down the line I'll have to get some PCGS cases just to compare. I don't know if the PSA slab, if they just borrow from PCGS and then put the PSA label in there. That'll be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, I just wanted to show these Niue coins because I think not too many people know about them, and to me they're just a pretty interesting, again, niche collectible. Lastly, I had just a few more of the coins from, so these are from the Sun and Moon theme decks. the Sun and Moon theme decks, they actually, sorry, Sword and Shield. They instead of having a name like Relentless Flame, Torrential Cannon, they just called them by the featured Pokemon of the deck. So Rillaboom theme deck, Cinderace theme deck, and Teleon theme deck. Pretty much got 9s there with the 8 on the Grookey. I think that is all I wanted to touch on, and that's all I have for this coin return video. Just kind of an interesting thing. I don't know what anyone thinks. I'll be interested if you have anything you want to share in the comments. Is this new to you? Did you even know that coins could be graded through PSA? Do you have any in your collection? And then on the Niue too, I'd be really interested if anyone has any resources that kind of delve more into the mintage numbers. And I know that they're out there, and I've done some research on them, but it's been a couple years. I really need to dive back into that, and maybe once I pick up more, I do have a few other raw, just single coins, but I would love to be able to get like a complete set of all of them. I have no idea how reasonable that is. These, if you search them on eBay, you'll see a few listed, usually pretty high, but there are proof releases. There are, as I said, silver. I believe there might be gold. Just a really cool thing to me. Some of them too that I'm not as crazy about, but they do like colorized, where they actually just paint the coin to colorize the Pokemon. That's kind of a thing they do with like the Silver Eagles. If you're looking at bullion collectibles from like the US Mint, and I guess they look kind of cool, but I'm not too crazy about putting paint on coins. But yeah, I think that's everything I have for you today. So as always, I appreciate you watching, and feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to see more content down the line, I do have a CGC sub that I just got the email from Ludkin, so that should be coming in maybe for next week. So I will catch you all later.